One of my favorite stories from you is about Gary Vaynerchuk. But I would love for you to give like the tangible steps you took when it comes to your meeting with Gary Vaynerchuk, because there's Gary V. Entrepreneurs usually know who Gary V is.
And my Top Gun shirt.
The story behind this is just so spectacular, and it's Barter live in action about how John actually got into Gary Vaynerchuk's office.
This happened in 2017, and I met Gary V at my first ever business conference. It was being hosted in St. Catharines, and I was helping the organizer barter sponsorships for things that she needed to run the event. And anyways, I ended up at the event myself and listened to Gary V for the first time, got to know him. This guy's like the epitome of bartering and hustle, and just really resonated with him, obviously. And so I got close to him afterwards and started chatting. Hey, I'm Canada's barter guy, we should connect. He's like, yeah. And so I ended up following like D-Rock around. D-Rock, if you don't know who that is, was Gary V's personal videographer. And so I kind of followed around like I was one of the crew. And I literally got into the green room. And, I'm not stalking, but I'm like, I'm there and I'm just nodding at what Gary's saying to this private interview and whatnot. And then I'm kind of walking out to the limo that was taking to the airport. It's like, we got to connect. He's like, yeah, like, you know what? Tweet me. I believe in what you're doing. You know I do. And I'll respond to the tweet.
Should I just tweet you or what? Yes. Okay. Yes, I will definitely see it. I believe in it. I do. I want it.
Long story short, I started to DM him. And I DM'd him, and I followed his instructions where he says, it doesn't matter if it takes 1,000 DMs. Just keep DMing. Don't give up. Don't give up. He did not respond. His team didn't see it. I have no idea, but regardless, he didn't respond. So I was like, okay, I got to figure out another way to hack the line here. So I started to reverse engineer in my mind a series of barter transactions that could get me into his office without him knowing. I thought, well, who in Gary V's circle would he owe a favor to, right? Because I got to get to that person. And so I thought, well, who better to approach than D-Rock, David Rock, who's been following around Gary for the last 18 months, documenting his entire day, every day, and cutting a daily V video every single day for 18 months. That's my guy. He's gonna, be owed a favor. So I went on Instagram and I searched at D-Rock in the search bar there, and I noticed that he was the second one that came up, at David Rock NYC. And so I clicked on that, not thinking about D-Rock, clicked on that one. I thought I'll go into his Instagram, I'll find out where he went to university or college or his favorite sports team, I'll get him a signed jersey or something that would resonate with him and trade for the meeting. And then it dawned on me, no, what he's gonna want, I hit the back arrow, is the at D-Rock Instagram handle. That is what he would want to trade the meeting. I clicked on at D-Rock, I'm like, who in the world has the at D-Rock? I gotta do a deal with them now. And this is where it gets kind of like, I don't wanna say weird because it's kind of like a divine thing, but I click on the at D-Rock username, and it's literally a guy named Derek that goes to my church. Like out of the whatever, billion users on Instagram, the one I need is literally a guy that I know personally. And I only came to know recently personally, because I didn't know he was D-Rock as his nickname when he was younger as well. So anyways, I shoot Derek a message. I'm like, dude, like we got to trade for this D-Rock name. He goes, well, some guy from New York's been trying to get that for a couple of years. So I'm like, yeah, like, well, don't do anything with him. Like, well, he's like, no, I wouldn't do it with him. I go, what are you looking for? I was like, well, you know what? I got to do a barter here because I'm trying to build this barter story. You just moved into a new house. You might need a roof or something. He goes, no, I'm an electrician. I'm handy. I don't need anything for my house. I said, oh, I know. Because his daughter was into show jumping. And so I thought, oh, I've got a barter client in Newmarket that makes custom saddles for jumping horses. So I was like, oh, would you take a custom saddle for your daughter's horse in exchange for the name? He said, sure, absolutely. No problem. So I gave him a bit of a digital handshake, said, hold tight. So the next day I called up Schleza Custom Saddlery, talked to the CEO and said, would you sell me a $5,000 saddle with barter credits? She goes, John, like we got like a long waiting list for our saddles, but you know what? I see what you're trying to do here. Yes, I'll sell you the saddle with barter credits. Great. I went to Debbie and said, we got to sell some furniture from our house. We got to earn these barter credits. So anyways, she said, no problem. We took a bunch of furniture from our house. We sold it on the BarterPay system, got the barter credits. We took the barter credits, got the saddle, took the saddle, got the username. And then this was all happening just like, again, on digital handshakes. It didn't actually happen yet. I sent D-Rock a message saying, hey, how much would you like to have that at D-Rock handle? He said, oh man, like I'd love to get that. I've been trying to get that. I was like, okay, well, I've got it. He's like, what do you want for it? Like $1,000? I said, no, I want a meeting with your boss. He's like, which one? I said, Gary. He goes, no effing way. And he's like, well, I'm not even going to ask Gary. I'm not going to use my personal closeness with him to ask for a personal favor from me. I was like, no problem. That was in February of 2017. The meeting where he spoke at the conference was January 2017. It took me about 30, 40 days to put the whole string together. I had to play poker for like 7 months. February, March, April, May, June, July, August. I get a ping at my in-laws' house for dinner on my phone. Are you still up for that trade? It's D-Rock. I was like, yeah. And so he said, call me tomorrow. We got on the phone. I told him the story. He's like, I think this is going to be great. He sent an email, or he sent me an email 3 days later saying, Gary said yes to the meeting. So yeah, I showed up in Gary's office and he sits down. I'm like, do you know who I am? And he's like, yeah, I remember. I think, I'm Canada's barter guy. We met at Hasten Hustle conference like 9 months ago, and you told me to get in touch with you.
You had told me in a video, I have a video recorded where you had said, tweet me, I'll see it, I believe in what you're doing, you know I do. I attempted to get in touch with you, which is no big deal. There's tons of stuff coming at you. So I basically found another way. So I happened to know a guy who had the @DRock Instagram username. All right?
Amazing.
I don't know if you heard about this.
I remember this part too.
Okay.
I didn't know they were connected. But
They're very much connected.
But
so
I know that story too.
I said I have to use barter to get to the guy.
You executed on your thesis.
Exactly. So
he didn't know I was the same guy that knew D-Rock and had the handle. So anyways, it all worked out. He released a video, got a couple million views, came back from that, and rebranded to BarterPay. That was the impetus behind that.
Wow. That's so amazing.
And it worked out way better for you this way than if I would have just replied to the tweet.
It did.
100%.
No, I'm happy. This is plays right into my narrative.
This is my biggest thesis, right? Which is everybody just gives up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't give
it's why I like barter so much. It's a move that people don't have in their repertoire.
Exactly.
It's lost. It's how we all used to roll.
Yeah.
Chicken for hay, rocks for fun wire. This is our currency.
Exactly.
I've always dreamed of building. This is why I responded so emphatically to you.
Yeah.
For a long time in the 90s, my belief was the startup that would make me buy the jets was to build the barter eBay.
Right.
Yeah.
Still
Can't believe it actually. It's being scratched by a lot of little things.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.